Hello everyone and welcome to another live from the workshop, and also welcome to the future, because basically this is an earlier live, a more recent or earlier live from the workshop than what you are going to see next week when you see this. Basically, what I'm saying is this is a live from the workshop after I've moved to Sweden. But after this one, you're going to see ones that, again, I had pre-recorded before I went to Sweden. And there is a very good reason for this. And the reason being is that today I'm going to make something that at the time of recording, at least, sod's law that somebody will beat me to it within the week of between me recording this and posting this. But at the time of recording, I don't think that anybody... And I have researched this on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. I have trawled the internet for hours and hours to see if somebody has done this before, and I haven't managed to find anything. So I might be the very possibly, because I can't prove this, I may be the very first person to do this custom. And so the reason that you're seeing it in advance is because I wanted to show it off as soon as possible, because, as I said, sod's law that somebody else will beat me to it. Now, to explain what I'm going to do, I was looking through my box of spares, and I have this, which is from, obviously, those of you who recognise, an Ironside Dalek, and it hasn't got the webbing around the edges. And I was looking at it, and the more I looked at it, the more I thought of this. And what it made me think of is the smooth edges to these are very much like the smooth edges under here. So I thought, well, why not sculpt on the extra top bar and do a new series version of a Dead Planet Dalek. And the thing is, I actually genuinely have spoken to several people who do lots of other customs themselves, and one in particular who tends to be one of the first people to do sort of mashups and things like that I know of. He's done quite a few, and he actually hasn't heard of this being attempted before, and I trust his judgment that means it's probably not been done before. And like I said, I've researched it. I've never managed to find anyone who's done it before. I'm sure I would be very surprised if somebody hasn't done it before. So I'm not trying to claim that I am indeed the first person to do this, because I can't prove that. But from what I've managed to find out, no one else has done this. So I actually feel quite hopeful that this could be a customs first. Anyway, to get on to what I'm actually doing, so obviously first things first, I have resprayed a Ironside Dalek Silver, but before that I won't put the other side on because it's very difficult to get apart once it's on together, but I have resprayed everything, and I've also sculpted on, if I can get it to stay together, I have sculpted on the extra piece using some Milliput. Nice and simple. It's not as good a job as it would be on an official figure, but for my purposes it will suit. So the first things that I'm going to do first is, well, the only things I've got to do really is paint it. So, but the first part of painting I'm going to do is the midsection here of the grey. I did consider doing a a Witch's Familiar and Magician's Apprentice variant with the blue midsection. I also considered doing the Chase Guard colour with the blue dome and the gold. But I don't know, something about it, I wanted it to be standard. And also, where I've got my Witch's Familiar Daleks displayed, obviously I've got this one with the blue, I've got the black dome one with the blue, and then I've also got the mashup old one with the new series base with the grey. And so I want to put this one alongside these. So I've already got two blue ones, so I kind of think I'm going to do another grey one. So this is literally going to be in the standard livery. And I know I've said before that I'm not a fan of doing new series Daleks in classic colours, but I'm making an exception here again because I don't think I've ever seen this done before, and so it is something that is incredibly different to anything else. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this, so let's crack on. And here is my finished new series, Dead Planet Dalek. So, I know I say this every time, and I know I say that every time as well, but I am very pleased with how this has come out. It really does look very strange, but very good at the same time. Very pleased with how the second ring's come out, although if you get up close, you can see, fingerprint marks and things like that, and it does sort of taper off slightly larger at this end than it is that end. But just generally, it's actually come out really well, and it really does look, it really does look very different to anything that we've sort of seen before. I think because it is such an iconic classic design, but something that's never been seen as far as I know as a new series design. As I said, I appreciate that I can't prove this, but I did do a lot of research into it, and I genuinely have not been able to find anybody. Maybe somebody drew it, and certainly drew up the designs for something similar, but I've never seen anybody do this as a custom design. So I must be, if I'm not the first person to come up with the design and make a custom of this, then I must be at least one of the first, because I truly have not seen this. So, personally, I would like to think that this is a first in terms of not only designing customs, but as I said, I can't fully take that title because I can't prove it. But yeah, I think this is definitely something that I've never seen before. I hope it's something that you guys have never seen before. And it occurred to me after making this, it does have a bit of an odd look to it, and I think what it is it's this exposed extra section here. It makes it look very tall, and if I bring it in my standard, which is familiar, classic Dalek, that's the word I was looking for, and then I also bring in the new series base version, which I also made. Again, you can see it is sort of taller than the classic one, and slightly taller than this one, but the thing is, again, when you take this one out, it does look a lot taller, but nothing's actually been added to this, and if I can, hopefully this is going to work, and I can prove this by bringing in this, which is the sound effects version of a new series Dalek. And you can see, if I take this one out actually, you're going to be able to see it better if I put them properly side by side, you can see that it is pretty much, I think that Ironside is ever so slightly taller in sculpt, but you can see that it is basically the same size. As I said, I think the only sort of main difference is that this piece is actually slightly taller than this piece, which is why they don't match up exactly. But it does give it a very odd, tall look. But I genuinely have to say, this would be... I have said many times, and I have said many times before, and I'm probably going to say many times since, I am not a fan of new series Daleks in classic colours. That still stands. However, I may make an exception with this one, because this is something that is different. This isn't a new series Dalek in a classic colour. This is a new series Dalek with a classic design, and that is something that is very different, because essentially if you had a new series Dalek with a fully classic design, you would have a classic Dalek. But this is something that is taken elements of the classic series and really turn it into something that is very different to the standard new series. So I certainly think this works very well as a design, and it is definitely one that I would love to see on the show in future, in some shape or form. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. Be sure to check the description below for a link to my new Patreon. It would help me out a lot if you would support that as well. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.